And good morning, America. Welcome back to the All American Book Club. Boy, do we have a fun summer here for you guys at the All American Book Club. We're bringing back to the show my friend and one of my favorite authors. You guys see me doing the cheesy Instagram pictures all the time with Lynette Eason's books. And we are talking about today, for those who are watching on the YouTube channel, her Final Approach book out August 2025. So do me a favor, go do the pre-orders on Amazon or wherever booksellers are at, because it not only helps everybody involved, but it really helps the author and it drives up the numbers. She is a best-selling author, USA Today best-selling author. And again, we're going to be talking about Final Approach and some other teasers as we head into Christmas and the new year. I know it's like a long way off, but really it's not. So buckle up, you guys. Here we go. Lynette, I am so glad to have you here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So, okay, let's buckle up our seatbelts here because we're on a plane that gets hijacked in the Final Approach of the Lake City Heroes series. And it's the fourth installment. And I know for many people who follow us on the Instagram page, on your social pages, you know, they're waiting with a bated breath because the other one came out in January. So we're sitting here saying, okay, we're ready. Let's do this. So we have our seatbelts on and we're in a plane that gets hijacked. Let's talk about the characters and what were you thinking?
I honestly don't know. I've written about three books since then. So no, it's good. What you want to know?
Well, let's talk about the characters.
Okay.
I love the characters. I love Christine. I love Andrew. And I love how you're bringing their worlds together now. And obviously, your characters have such unique journeys of
Mm.
what they have gone through. So let's talk about their journeys and what they've gone through. And we're not going to give anything away, right? Because we got to get the pre-order sales through the roof. And we also, a little suspense here. So
Yeah.
tell as much as you want.
Okay. Okay. So so Andrew is the hero. He is an FBI agent and he's called into um so to work with Christine. Actually, they're friends. They're part of the same friend group, and that's how they got to know each other. But they're all on this airplane, and this thing happens, and it gets hijacked, y'all. And so they work together. They land, and then they have to do some investigation. Well, Christine doesn't really because that's not her purview. She's an air marshal. But anyway, but she's part of it. She gets to stay involved in it in a very legal way. And
Yeah.
it's just a journey to figure out what happened, why it happened, who's behind it, what is going on, because nothing is what it seems to be.
Yeah, no, that's very evident. And as I'm sitting here trying not to give away too much, what talk to me about this fourth installment? It's the final installment in this book series, and it's an
Yes.
amazing book series. So let's talk about what basically inspired you to write this angle. Have you ever been on a plane that was taken down?
That's been hijacked. No, thank God.
I have to ask.
No, no. Yeah, so surprisingly, in all my research, hijackings are very rare these days, especially in the United States after all the 9/11 security and all that stuff. And
Yeah,
yeah, and you know, TSA and all of the alphabet agencies are pretty good at what they do. So
yeah,
it was pretty hard to find something where they could say, okay, we need to compare hijackings and see what happened. And they're like, oh, there's not really that much to compare. So I
yeah,
had to
yeah.
work around that issue. But yeah, no, I've never been on a plane that been hijacked, but I got to have a really good imagination. And I have some FBI buddies that gave me a lot of feedback on it. So
Yeah, no, your imagination is like off the charts between you and I'll have to say, and we all know Kim Woodhouse. I know we're all friends in the same friend circles. And I'm going to tell you this really funny story. I shared with one of my favorite fans to the show, my father. He is a book reader. If he doesn't have a book in his hand, you got to wonder if something's going on, right? So
uh,
he's reading your books, he's reading Kim's books, and he said, what the heck? What goes through their heads? I said, if you only knew. The stories that they, you guys share. But I want to talk a little bit about your personal journey. You have such an amazing writing career, but I loved hearing some of your backstory when we did our Christmas special with all of my favorite authors, my favorite things. I want you to share with our audience what transitioned you into this field. Where did you come from? And what really was it always a dream of yours as a little child to start writing or to be in a bookstore or how did this all develop for you?
Well, it's kind of a long story. I'll try to bring it in and condense it. But actually, no. That when I was growing up, I loved books. I was reading all the time, like your dad. I always had a book in my hand, in my purse, in my, whatever. And so I just loved books, and the people in the books were my friends, and I would rather hang out with them than my actual friends a lot of times. So, um, but when I tried to write a book in eighth grade, I was like, this is too hard. This is ridiculous. I don't know how anybody does this. And I just, whatever, moved on in my little eighth grade world. And so I got married, and my husband traveled a lot with his job, and I was home alone a lot. And I was thinking, I think I may want to try to write that book I've always wanted to write. And I tried, and I sat down. So basically I started writing out of loneliness. And so I wrote it. It was horrible, but it was a learning experience. And I started looking into, well, maybe I should try to get this published. I had fun writing it, but I mean, it was really hard, but I did it. I have 80,000 words here, 90,000 words. And so I found Dee Henderson in the bookstore. I just loved her books.
Yeah.
And I found her email address in the back of one. I emailed her and I said, hey, I love your stuff. When I grow up, I want to be like you. I want to write like you. And she emailed me back. Oh,
Oh,
wonder of
wow.
wonders. Yeah. And ended up being my mentor and taught me how to write. And so I submitted that book. It was terrible. It got rejected, and very rightly so. But like I said, it was a learning process. It was a journey. And so I wrote another one, rejection, rejection.
Yeah.
And the D is encouraging me the whole time. And finally, I got accepted. And I got that call in February of 2006, I think. And they wanted to publish my book. February 2007. I don't know. It came out in 2007. So yeah, and so that's pretty much the journey that I did. I started writing out of loneliness, and God just really used that to send me in the direction He had planned all along.
Yeah, no, absolutely. How many books do you have published? Do you have a record count?
I think it's around 67, 68, almost 70.
Okay. And then most of them, should I say most of them are under Revell Baker Publishing?
It's actually pretty even. I am
Is it?
about 35 with Love Inspired and 30 something with Rebel. So I'm getting pretty close. Yeah.
No,
They're,
that's really neat. And when was that pinnacle moment when you heard that you were a USA Today bestselling author? What was that like for you? And I'm just in awe of all of these authors that are coming on the show, and they have the New York Times, they have USA Today, they have all of these, recognitions. What was that like for you? And which book was it?
I don't remember which book it was. It was a love inspired book. I honestly don't have a clue. I love that. I mean, I was like, oh, that's cool. That's really neat. Okay. And then I just, that kind of, I don't
Yeah.
ponder it, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's really neat, and move on. It's like, it's cool, but it's not like, I don't know. I don't know what the
Yeah.
word, life changing, or it's like, it was cool. It was
Great
cool.
recognition and honor.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it
I
was an honor, of course.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
absolutely. It's a great headline for you. So,
Yeah.
and a great, but I want to go, all right, let's go into, I want to talk about sneak peeks. We have about 9 minutes left to the show, which goes by very quickly. So I want to talk about the book writing that you're doing with another favorite author of mine, Danny Petrie. I want to talk
Yes.
about that. And then let's also talk about some sneak peeks that are leading in to 2026. I can't believe we're even saying 2026.
I know.
But I mean, Christmas is right around the corner, you guys. So
I know.
Christmas in
I
July
know.
is right around the corner, you guys. And then Christmas is here. So let's talk about sneak peeks and what's ahead for you.
Okay, sure. So the collection that you're talking about that
Yes.
Danny Petrie and I did together. She's with Bethany House. I'm with Rebel. We're both under that Baker umbrella. And so they asked us if we would do a little collection together, and we're like, yeah, sure. So the novellas are about 40,000 words each, a
Mhm.
little longer than your typical novella, but still a novella nevertheless. And
Yeah.
it is about, we picked the theme um, Wide Out. And it's about an avalanche that happens at a ski resort in Colorado, and Danny's characters are trapped on one side and mine are trapped on the other. And my characters still have power and electricity. Danny's characters do not. It was, we just kind of worked together to make sure we had the same setting,
Yeah.
all of the details about that. But the stories really don't connect any other way. They do tie into our series. And so my characters are Maya and Gideon. And they tie into the first book that's in the new series called, I've named it Soldiers and Shadows. I don't know what Ravel's going to name it, but it will have a name at some point. And so it's relatively new, and we're just getting to the point where we start thinking about titles and everything. And so that ties into that. And so that's the new series that'll be coming out starting in, I'm not sure when the first book comes out, because we switched up my publishing schedule a little bit, and so I'm not
Okay.
January, August anymore, so it might be a little bit later. I don't know. Anyway, um, it will come out at some point in 2026. So I think it might be March. It might be March of 2026 or April. I don't know. So, and then I have a Christmas novella with Love Inspired coming out. It's part of the Canine Continuity series that they do
Okay.
every year. And Lenore Worth and I do two novellas, and they're a little shorter. They're about a little less than 30,000 words. And that is coming out in, I believe it's December of this year. It's either November or December. The Christmas novellas, I always come out in November, December.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what's on the horizon there.
And then is there a tie-in to the ones you're doing with Danny? So you're going to do that, and then does it launch into your brand new series?
Yeah, it's the characters. It sets up the new series, and
Okay.
so yeah,
Okay.
which takes place. I'm sorry, I have fuzz flying around. It takes place on a ranch in the fictional town of Whitestone, Tennessee, which is not too far from Nashville. So usually my books are set in like Tennessee, North Carolina, sometimes South
Yes.
Carolina, but
Yes.
I
Yes.
love the mountains and I love Tennessee. I love everything about Tennessee. So yeah, I will get to move there one day when I tuck my husband into it. So
It's great. I love it. No, I can definitely see the North Carolina love in the Lake City here a series as well. So as you were, I want to go back to this on Final Approach, Lynette Eason. It is coming out August, and again, go pre-order because it just does amazing things when we pre-order. But as you were writing the final to this book and to this series, do you ever, when you're finishing up a series like this, what kind of responses do you get from your audience? But then also, what is it? How do you feel when you're putting that aha moment on that final sentence? What's that feel like to you?
yeah, I mean, it feels great to know that I actually did it again. you know, like, woo! Um, my brain held out. And I kind of miss the characters in a way. I miss that world that I've created, and I spent 2 years with these people in this place, and it's kind of a little bit of nostalgia maybe,
Mhm.
to think about the place that I created and the characters and the characters. It's so funny that I get reader emails all the time, and they're it's
Yeah.
like, so aren't you gonna write a book about this character or this character? I'm like, they were secondary characters. I'm glad they had an impact, but no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, they would let me stay in that world forever
Yeah.
if I could. But I must move on to the next series, the next world, and so we're in Whitestone, Tennessee, with the new one that starts out. The
Mm.
one I'm working on. So yeah, they tend to like it, and I mean, sometimes I do feel like that connection with a particular
Yeah.
secondary character, and
Yeah.
I go, you know what? I think I will write a novella about this character. That would be cool. So yeah,
Yeah.
you never know what's going to come out.
Well, one thing I was going to mention to you, I don't know if you have realized the impact that you make. When I posted the crazy image for Instagram, Facebook, tagging you in it when Serial Burn came out, one of my Facebook followers, I think she publicly posted it, but she said, my high school daughter loves the series. And I
Mm,
sat there and thought, yes, because you bring in faith, you bring
mm,
in a family component, you
mm,
bring in a heroine and a hero, you bring
mm,
in all of these aspects, and it's a great escape. It's great for summer reading, as we're in the midst of. It is a great
mm,
opportunity to really kind of engage and learn about all your alphabet agencies and what people, the first responder community and the military community. You target all of these great things for that
mm,
young reader, that young, mature reader. And I don't
mm.
know if you realize that. And I wanted to share that with you. I'm sure.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get a lot of emails from younger like, teenagers.
Yeah.
I get a lot of emails from homeschool kids. So a teenager, they're not really kids, they're
Yeah.
teenagers.
Yeah.
And that's great. I love that. I absolutely love that. And that just thrills me.
Yeah. No, absolutely. All right. Final minute here at the All American Book Club. What would be your ultimate message that you would like to share with our audience here in the DMV, nation's capital, and around the world? What would you love to say? Words of inspiration, favorite Bible verse, and anything else that you would like to promote?
Oh gosh, you left it wide open, didn't you? I just want to say, I could not do what I do without the readers, and that the readers are key. You buy the books and you allow me to do this, and I'm so thankful and so grateful, and I will never take the readers for granted. And so,
Mm.
just throwing that out there, you have my eternal gratitude for allowing me to do this.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you. Lynette Eason, I'll never forget the first time I met you. I think I squealed when I met you for the first time because at an NRB convention, because I absolutely loved your books. And it was like top line. And then Kim Woodhouse was standing there with a couple other authors. And she was like, who's this Chris? What's she? Oh, all I gotta say
Oh
is the rest is history because you know what? I'm so grateful for your work, your talent. I'm grateful that you have a publishing house that's focused on God, country, family, that the books are made in America. I am so grateful for all of these things. And I'm grateful that you get to impact our next generation because you have so many kids picking up your books. So,
well, thank you. Thank you so much. And I just want to say it was a great fun to meet you at NRB. That was a huge fun thing. And I'm thankful for your part in that you play in getting the books out there and spreading the word. So thank you for that.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, my friend, here we go into summer, launching your final book in this series. And for all of those who are tuning in to the All American Book Club, you guys, now you can hop off the YouTube channel, hop off the station, and go hit pre-order on your Amazon app button. ASAP. Okay. Until then, oh, go ahead. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Sorry, one more thing, if you don't mind. Let me just throw a thing out here. Baker
Yeah.
Book House in Grand Rapids, Michigan. If you pre-order the book through them, you get 40% off and free shipping. And they will
Oh,
ship it. So it arrives on the day it releases.
oh,
It's sometimes a little early.
so Baker Publishing, just go to their website
There's
and
Baker Book House. Baker
Baker
Book House.
Bookhouse. Okay,
Yeah, it's a
Baker
Baker Book
Bookhouse.
House.
Okay,
hmm
so
If
go
you
to
go to their
Baker.
website. hmm
Okay, and then they can order free shipping, and you said 40% off.
and 40% off.
Okay,
Yes.
that's a big deal. That's
It's a
a
huge deal. And yeah,
okay.
I mean, you get the book almost half price. And
Yeah,
that's nothing to sneeze at these days because books are expensive these days.
you are correct. They are expensive. Yes.
Uh,
Okay,
yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, we just gave you your work. Okay. Until then, you guys have a great weekend. Stay tuned for our next segment. And thank you, Lynette, for being here.
thank you.